All right, welcome everyone to another deep dive. You ready to uncover something amazing?
I am. What are we looking at today?
Well, today it's all about Antonio Vivaldi. We've got a listener who's just dying to learn more about this Baroque composer.
Vivaldi. Excellent choice.
Yeah, and luckily we've got some excerpts from Antonio Vivaldi, the Virtuoso of Venice, to guide us.
Sounds like a plan.
So let's get into it. Vivaldi's life, his music, all that good stuff. Oh, and of course his connection to Venice. Can't forget that.
And the Four Seasons, right? We have to talk about the Four Seasons.
Oh, absolutely. That's like his biggest hit, isn't it?
Pretty much. It's the one everyone knows. But there's so much more to discover, trust me.
Okay, so first things first, let's set the stage. Vivaldi and Venice. Like, how connected were they really?
I mean, talk about intertwined. Vivaldi was born in Venice on March 4, 1678, right in the heart of the Baroque period.
The Baroque period. All about those big emotions and dramatic flourishes.
Exactly. And Venice at that time, it was like this explosion of art and culture and music. A perfect breeding ground for a musical genius.
Totally. So he was basically surrounded by inspiration from day one.
Yeah.
And his dad, Giovanni Battista Vivaldi, he was a professional violinist, right?
You got it. A violinist at St. Mark's Basilica, no less, one of the most famous churches in Venice.
Wow, talk about a musical upbringing. Did that, give Vivaldi a head start in his career, or do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, early exposure is key. But get this, Vivaldi actually had some health issues as a child. They think maybe asthma.
Oh, wow, that's rough.
Yeah, but it didn't stop him. He was dedicated to music. And you know what's really interesting? He became a priest in 1703.
Wait, hold on. A priest? The guy who wrote all those concertos was a priest.
Yep. He was even nicknamed the Red Priest because of his red hair. Imagine that.
The Red Priest composing these incredible pieces. That's amazing. But how did he, balance those two worlds, being a priest and a composer?
Well, that's where the Ospedale della Pietà comes in. Have you heard of it?
Rings a bell, but I can't quite place it.
So it was this institution in Venice for orphaned girls. They got an education, and they were taught music.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. I think I saw a documentary about it once. They had a really famous orchestra, right?
Exactly, and guess who was the music master there?
Vivaldi. It all connects now.
He composed a ton of music for them. His concertos, his sonatas, all for this incredible all-female orchestra.
Wow, so he was really writing for a very specific group of musicians. Do you think we can hear that in his music? Does it sound different because of who he was composing for?
That's a great question, and the answer is yes. You see, during the Baroque period, music wasn't just about pretty melodies. It was about expressing emotions, telling stories.
Oh, so musical storytelling.
You got it. And Vivaldi, he was a master of this. He used all these techniques to create these really vivid images in your mind, like in his concertos. And for those who don't know, a concerto is a piece that features a solo instrument, usually the violin. With an orchestra, there's this dramatic back and forth between the soloist and the orchestra.
I see. So it's like a conversation happening through music. Mm-hmm. And this storytelling thing, is that what made the Four Seasons so popular?
Oh, definitely. The Four Seasons is the perfect example of musical storytelling. Composed in 1723, it's a set of 4 violin concertos. Each one represents a season: spring, summer, autumn, winter.
Yeah, I love those. But it's not just he wrote some nice tunes about the weather.
Yeah.
Right? There's something more to it.
You're absolutely right. Vivaldi went beyond just describing the seasons. He captured their essence. He used all sorts of musical tricks to make you feel what it was like to experience each season. For example, to get that feeling of winter's chill, he used these really fast, high-pitched violin runs. It's like you can hear the icy wind.
I get chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I've always loved how the Four Seasons takes you on a journey. It's a musical storybook.
Exactly. It's what we call programmatic music, meaning that it's designed to tell a specific story or evoke a specific image. And you know what's even cooler? Vivaldi actually included sonnets with the Four Seasons.
Sonnets, like poems.
Yep, little poems that went with each concerto. They actually described the scenes and emotions that he was trying to portray with the music.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like he wanted to make sure you really understood what you were hearing, like a multi-sensory experience.
You got it. But here's the thing. You know how Vivaldi was super famous during his lifetime?
Yeah, he was like the rock star of the Baroque period, right?
Well, sadly, his popularity didn't last. As musical tastes changed, people kind of forgot about him.
Oh, that's so sad. What happened?
Well, music always evolves, right? New styles come along. And by the time Vivaldi died in 1741 in Vienna, his music was already considered old-fashioned.
So he was basically forgotten. That's heartbreaking.
It is. But the story doesn't end there. In the 20th century, there was this huge revival of interest in Baroque music.
Oh, yeah. I remember learning about that music history class. So Vivaldi got his comeback.
He did. His music was rediscovered, and people realized how amazing and innovative it really was. And you know what I think it is? I think modern audiences connected with the emotion and the storytelling in his music. It just resonates with us, even centuries later.
I think you're right. It's like we crave that kind of connection with music, and Vivaldi's music really delivers that.
Absolutely. It's timeless. And, thinking about Vivaldi's life, it makes me wonder, how did his experience at the Ospedale della Pietà shape his music?
Oh, interesting question. You mean like composing for that all-female orchestra?
Exactly. Think about it. These were talented young women, often overlooked by society, and he wrote this beautiful, emotional music specifically for them.
You're right. It's kind of a hidden story in music history, isn't it? These women making such incredible music.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, how much did their talent and their unique perspective influence Vivaldi's compositions? How did it shape the emotional depth and the expressiveness of his music? It's something to think about.
That's a really good point. I never thought about it that way before. It really makes you appreciate his music on another level.
And as you explore Vivaldi's work, I encourage you to go beyond the Four Seasons. There's a whole world of amazing music to discover in his vast catalog.
Yeah, the Four Seasons is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to uncover. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty inspired right now.
Me too. It's amazing how music can transport us like that.
Absolutely. Huge thanks to everyone for joining us for this deep dive. It's been a journey through Venice, through music, and through time. And we hope you've come away with a new appreciation for Antonio Vivaldi, the Red Priest, with the extraordinary talent.
Until next time.
See them.